Hello YouTube and welcome to another nerdhammer.net battle report. I am Kasual and I'm reporting on the second game of the Outside the Box Games monthly tournament for January. This is game 2. Scenarios for game 2. There are 3 fixed tokens in the middle of the board. They're 12 inches apart and any unit can hold an objective. I found out during the game that it did not have to be a scoring unit as per the last game. And whatever unit has the most wounds holds it down. So here we go. My Moonfang rolled up Final Trans and the number 2 spell, forget what that is. Sig and the number 5 for the other Herald. Horror units got Firestorm and I think it's Bolt of Change. Yeah, Bolt of Change. And my Bloodthirster rolled up 2 attacks, always strikes first, and I took the Axe of Khorne, which allows him to have 3 attacks if there's 3 or more enemies in base contact. So, deployment for my opponent. He had to be a single Beast of Nurgle, got the Skull Cannon, big block of Plague Bearers. He got the Soul Grinder. In behind the Soul Grinder, Mr. Fate Weaver himself makes an appearance. In the next big block of Plague Bearers is Epidemius. It is no comp, so he brought the cheese. Another Skull Cannon and another single Beast. My deployment on my right side, both my Burning Chariots, my Demonettes, of course. The pink Horrors with Firestorm in behind. I set up my Skull Cannon and my Plague Drones to hide my Bloodthirster, so that he's going to have to go through a lot to wound him with a cannon on the first turn. Got my block of Plague Bearers, Furies. That's the other side. Furies, Beasts, and my Bolt of Change Horror unit with the Heralds right here on the left side. So here, turn 1 for the Demons of Cheese, as I will keep track of them as the rest of the game. There's this big and obnoxious piece of terrain on the left side of the board. We consider it impassable except for the parts in the middle. So he just moves up aggressively, of course. And he has nothing to fear against my army. There's the center of his lines. Skull Cannon moves up here to take shots at my Bloodthirster. The Skull Cannon actually stops some cannonballs and takes 2 wounds. So that's okay, so the Bloodthirster is going to survive this round of shooting, which is awesome. And not much else happened, so turn 1, Daemons of Chaos. Blurry picture. I don't move up that aggressively. I need to use some magic and try to take something out of his list. I'm looking at the Soul Grinder first, especially with the Bolt Change. It's like a bolt thrower shot that auto hits. But this is going to kind of be a game where I know it's an uphill battle, so I'm going to be taking some big risks, and hopefully some big rewards will come from it. Other than that, you know, I know it's an uphill climb. I mean, you're playing against one of the most overpowered special characters in the game that are usually banned in every single tournament you'll ever step foot in, except for this one, which that's cool and all. It's neat to see how bad he really is. So on the right side, moving up really aggressively, I want to take this flank and get in behind his lines. I take the Demonettes into that single Beast of Nurgle. I hope they can do it. He might stick around for a turn or 2, but I have some faith in the Demonettes. Hopefully they can take him out. After combat, I lose 1 Demonette. I did put 2 wounds on the Beast, but he passes instability test and sticks, which is going to be trouble for me because I'm looking at a Skull Cannon who's ready to smash into some Demonettes. I do get Final Transmutation off on Epidemius' unit. I end up taking, I don't know, maybe a whole rank and some extra off of him there. I think he had maybe 40 total in that unit. So not a bad Final Trans. You know, I can't complain about that. The 4-up regen really doesn't help him on, you know, against, remove from combat spells. So that's pretty awesome. Turn 2, Demons of Cheese. Yep, he brings that Skull Cannon in as I expected. Center of his lines don't do too much. Sorry for the blurry picture. He flies Fate Weaver over here, and of course his Dark Head has the Purple Sun. And he fires it off. He gets it off irresistibly because he already has Throne of Vines up, so why not cast the big one? Flies through, takes off 3 beasts, takes off 2 Furies, and over half of my Plague Bearers. So that's what he's made to do. That was a beautiful purple sun, and what can you do? Can't stop it. And then through shooting, he takes off the last Beast of Nurgle. Over here after combat, I lose about 5 Demonettes, but instability test doesn't pop them, which is awesome. Now I got counter charges with my Burning Chariots on my turn. Turn 2, Chaos. And that's exactly what I do. I bring both chariots in. I take one into the flank of the Skull Cannon and one into the flank of the Beast of Nurgle. That should definitely help me with some combat res. I fly the Plague Drones over here. I'm trying to threaten the flank of Epidemius' unit. And I said I would get get risky in this game, and there's a difference between taking calculated risks and being utterly stupid by flying your Bloodthirster into a big block of Plague Bearers. What I didn't foreshadow was the fact that a champion's just going to challenge me out. So that kind of sucks. That was kind of a mistake. But that's okay. We're taking risk, and hopefully, who knows? Maybe I win combat somehow, and he has a bad instability test, and who knows? So I fly the other Furies up just to roadblock the Soul Grinder. And over here, I decide to take the Pink Horrors and Moonface into Fate Weaver. Why not, right? I mean, I have a charge, I have a flank, I got 1 rank, a banner, combat res. Fate Weaver isn't that great in close combat, so if I force an instability test and pop them, the whole game changes. So, like I said, calculated risks is the name of the game here. Over here after combat, yeah, I popped the Beast. I actually killed it with impact hits, which forced me not to be able to bring the chariot in for the rest of the combat. But I did overrun and get both chariots into his Skull Cannon. That should be pretty good for me. I lose another Demonette, I believe. Yeah, so I did force an instability test on Fate Weaver. I did lose 1 horror, and for his instability test, he rolls Snake Eyes. So Fate Weaver just says, "Screw you, Pink Horrors. I don't give a shit." And after combat here, I take 2 wounds. I think I took it from an instability test somewhere around. I think I was at leadership 6 when it was all said and done. So yeah, take some wounds here. Bloodthirster has 3 wounds remaining. Turn 3, Demons of Cheese. Of course, the Soul Grinder charges the Furies. He's bringing the Skull Cannon around. And a big magic phase for Fate Weaver. He ends up Miasma and Soul Blight. I mean, I'm basically down to toughness 3 on my Bloodthirster, and he decides not to challenge. I don't challenge, and he's going to be fighting Epidemius with toughness 3 now, and a lower weapon skill. Soul Grinder makes short work of my Furies and overruns. After combat, yeah, the Bloodthirster died. Plague Bearers reformed to face the threat of the Plague Drones, which now that completely changes my game plan. I'm definitely not going to take them face first into that unit. After combat here, I break and kill the Skull Cannon, which is awesome. So the Burning Chariots are free to fly around on my turn. Turn 3, Daemons of Chaos. Everything reforms. I fly into Plague Drones down. I'm really not sure what to do now. I'm thinking about conserving points at this point, or trying to take out that Soul Grinder. I really don't know what to do now that my Bloodthirster's gone. I bring the Burning Chariots up to take shots at the Plague Bearers. And this unit, what the hell, I might as well throw him into the Soul Grinder. I have poison attacks. Maybe I can sneak a couple through, force a bad instability test. I still have a rank and a banner. Who knows? I'm just trying to take calculated risks and just want luck to come into my favor a little bit here. I just need something to turn. But over here, I decide to give, through Warp Fire and the Warp Flame and the Burning Chariots, I end up giving Epidemius unit regen. That's awesome. +1 to his regen, actually. Over here, Fate Weaver's just grinding away at the horrors. It's only down to Moonface and 1 pink horror left. He still has Throne of Vines up. I can't dispel it. Just another picture of the same. Turn 4, Demons of Cheese. Brings the Skull Cannon over to shoot at my chariots. Fate Weaver still fighting out. He finally killed Moonface, and now there's a lone pink horror left. The Soul Grinder ends up killing my Plague Bearers and reforming. Demons of Chaos, turn 4. This is what it looks like. I bring my other Burning Chariot around. I think the other one got shot off the board. I'm not 100% sure. I jump my my single Herald of Metal, my other Herald of Metal out to redirect the Plague Bearers. I just don't want them getting into combat with the Plague Drones and the Soul Grinder. Just trying to sacrifice them for one turn of more action against the Soul Grinder. His other Plague Bearer unit just hanging out on the mountain. They don't give a shit. They're just chilling, holding down that other token. Over here, the Demonettes are getting close to the other token, which is right behind the building. I'm okay with that. Maybe they can hold that down the rest of the game and get me some points. Over here, I did do 2 wounds to the Soul Grinder. I lost one Plague Bearer, so we're stuck in combat there. Soul Grinder still has 4 wounds left, so it's going to be an uphill climb to fight him. Demons of Cheese, turn 5. He brings the Soul Grinder into the Demonettes, trying to make sure he gets every victory point possible, and I don't blame him. We'll see how that goes. He takes his Plague Bearer unit into my Metal Herald, and that'll be the end of him. Fate Weaver comes over to join the party. After combat, the Demonettes, I think I lost 2, but they passed their instability test and stick around. As you can see up in the top left there, I have 3 wounds on my remaining Burning Chariot. The Plague Bearers overrun into the flank of my Horrors. That's going to be the end of them too. I didn't have enough movement to get the Horrors out of the way. I just didn't want him getting into the Plague Drones. You know, I'm trying to get the Soul Grinder. I think he has all the upgrades in the Soul Grinder, so it's about 315 points of victory points. I'm just trying to get him to salvage something of this game. And for my instability test on the Plague Drones, I roll Snake Eyes, which means they're removed from the game. And the Soul Grinder reforms to face the lone Burning Chariot, and Demonettes is all I have left. Turn 5, Demons, just grinding out here. I think I lose another Demonette, but they're holding, man. They're trying to keep that chip. Over here, the Soul Grinder goes into my Burning Chariot. That's going to be the end of him, and that's the game. So my opponent, real nice guy. I've played him before. You know, he just wanted to make sure he brought the cheese out for this tournament. He got near max. Somehow I got 6 points when I'm thinking of what my final total was and going back through the games. Anyway, yeah. So I'm not really sure the tournament points. The star, I'm gonna give it to Moonface. He got a final transmutation off, a big one on that unit, and he did that heroic charge against, you know, Fate Weaver, just forcing instability tests. That's great in my book. I could have killed him maybe. The Demonettes of the Rock, I actually ended up getting that token. Maybe that's why I got 6 points. I'm not 100% sure. But they held down against 2 Skull Cannons, which was awesome. And the piece of shit of the game, obviously Kairos Fate Weaver. Screw him. Now I know why he's banned. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.